Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and welcome back to the channel. You are a victim of marketing. We all are, unavoidably. Marketing is everywhere, in your phone apps, websites, TV, radio, public transportation, and the packaging of every food you buy, etc. Marketing is all about getting you to buy or consume, whether you want it or not, whether you need it or not. Each product you buy has intensive investigation behind it done by dozens of people. There are studies, interviews, focus groups, all to get that magic formula that'll get you to buy. A package of potato chips, it's not just the packaging, from the colors to the image and lettering. They have tested several types of crunchiness, of flavor, of smell, of color, and of size. Then they sold it at a place study to make you more likely to buy it. Like it or not, you have been manipulated. You might have seen it already, but video food ads are often shot with fake stuff that's not even food, and made up burgers that look delicious but look nothing like the ones you end up buying. When you walk by a restaurant or a bakery or even the mall and you smell something delicious, they made it on purpose, spreading the smell to attract people. I'm not even going to get into the analytics. On Google, Facebook, Instagram track everything you read, watch, search, and like, and then keep suggesting similar things. Foods, restaurants, grocery lists, bloggers, anything. And even if you know about all the marketing strategies, you are still susceptible to them. Why? Because we're all human, and marketing is all about manipulating human psychology. My purpose of this post, be careful not only with your data and social media, and be aware that the reason you sometimes struggle to stay on track is because you're getting too stimulated or enticed by all the food marketing around you. I recently watched a video about how the traditional American breakfast of eggs, bacon, toast, and orange juice was a total marketing move. They sell us products to make us unhealthy, and then they turn around and sell us products to get us healthy. Have you seen the BBC series, The Men Who Made Us Fat? It's eye-opening. It talks to the ex-marketing execs and business execs of the food companies who brought in things like upsizing, meal deals, increasing the small size of soda. Mind-blowing. And then they did another series about gyms, and how since the opening of gyms everywhere, society has only gotten fatter. I highly recommend the series. Another important thing for all of us to know is that most advertising companies hire psychologists to help food companies identify whichever buttons to push to make us buy and eat more. Example, targeting the working mother's guilt, targeting the child, targeting the lonely feeling and not good enough feeling that we all have. They spend more money identifying the marketing campaign that will best hit those points, and they do it most cost effectively. They use conscious and subliminal messaging. Great post. I work at a big green coffee chain. I used to wonder why people went there all the time, and then I realized it's not the coffee. Everyone likes to beg on our coffee. It's burnt, it's bitter. We're not selling coffee, we're selling sugar. Who cares if it tastes burnt if it has 8 pumps of sauce in it? Who cares if it tastes bitter if it's blended into a milkshake? It's not about the coffee, it's about the sugar, even in our non-coffee drinks. I gave up processed sugar in February. I basically cut myself off of our menu. It's completely wild. I got rid of my TV 10 years ago for this reason, and only in the last couple of years have I started streaming some shows online. I just really didn't want to deal with the commercials anymore, or the unhealthy messages inherent in them, especially geared towards women. It made me angry that I'd had these unwanted messages in my house with me while I was just living my life. We haven't had cable for 5 years now. We only do streaming without commercials. Our kid doesn't ask for sugary things, including cereal and candy, or even toys. He only knows about what toys are popular from school or when we go to the store. I try my best to fill my kitchen with items that I won't see being marketed. For example, it's really rare to see chicken breast, eggs, or broccoli being marketed. I can't remember the name of this anti-cancer documentary that I watched once, but a scientist in it said that you can't patent carrots or kale, and that's why no one is studying whole fruits and veg as a treatment for cancer. There is no money in discovering that natural food could be effective in its own right as a way to heal disease. Your comment made me think of that. I do wonder though how Eggland's Best can claim their eggs have more omega-3 than those ordinary eggs. And Big Dairy and Big Meat do shill, I guess, but at a much lower rate than Nestle, Unilever, and Mondelez. Edited to add the documentary I referred to, the C word. On this channel, I narrate weight loss stories to help those on a health journey. So if you're planning on starting a health journey, please tap subscribe. It's a good way to kind of commit yourself. And also, only a small percentage of reviewers actually subscribe. So please tap subscribe. I'll be forever grateful. Is it easier for you to eat a little or just to avoid entirely? I adopted this idea from Gretchen Rubin. There are two different types of people: abstainers and moderators. Abstainers find it easiest to avoid than to regulate. And this is why certain diets like keto or slow carb or plant-based work for them. Instead of limiting how much, they find it easier to not eat certain foods at all. The best example is if you finish your dessert, even if you're very full. If you find it hard to limit what you eat, especially with certain foods, abstaining entirely is sometimes easier. Moderators can moderate what they eat and can have small quantities without going overboard. To them, the first bite is the best. They can leave things unfinished. They can have a little bit and be fine, but not having any at all drives them crazy. A huge part of my journey has been realizing which works better for me. I'm a moderator, so diets that restrict what I eat just don't work. Seco works for me since I can eat anything and everything as long as it's within limit. For my father, he's an abstainer, so a low carb works great for him, where I tried that and spiraled quickly. When he tried limiting what he ate, he went overboard whenever he had even a small bit of carbs. Gretchen Rubin also mentions planned exceptions, where you plan ahead to eat certain foods. You can enjoy them and savor them on these occasions, but they're not a part of your regular day-to-day diet. I like this idea a lot. Have you guys seen this in your lives? Realizing this has made a lot of sense to me, at least. Sugar is the one thing I have to abstain from. Cookies, chocolate, brownies. If I have one, there's a good chance I will eat them all if I can get away with it. I found drinking something bitter helps turn off that need, or buying it singularly, a single sweet from a bakery instead of a box of cookies. The calories in brownies are not worth it. I don't have a this food bad, this food good attitude, but even when my calorie budget was 2,500 calories a day, brownies weren't worth it. Either you eat a tiny square or you blow half your calories in a few bites. I'm an abstainer, totally, and just a little doesn't exist in my world. My brain just isn't organized that way. I'm the same. I'm all or nothing. And definitely an avoider to the point that fasting is the only thing that makes me lose weight, lol. Same here. I started intermittent fasting, 18/6, and fought through hunger and cravings. I'm doing one meal a day, and those cravings are gone. When I feel hungry, I eat, but my body's adjusting and I'm easily doing it. Moderation is a wonderful concept, but I'm glad it works for some. I'm 34, and I know my relationship with food can get out of control if I'm not careful. I'm definitely a planned exceptions type. If I have a dangerous food in the house, I will eat all of it, but I figure that life is too short to avoid it entirely. So I won't eat during the day to make special meals fit my calories. If I'm craving chips or something, I buy the smallest portion possible, etc. Unfortunately, that hasn't been practical these days, and that's contributed to me regaining the weight. Living with the family requires me to be a moderator, and that's just not me. I'm somewhere in between. I'm mostly a moderator, so Seco works for me, but I'm also an abstainer when it comes to snacks. The same. I can't have any carby snacks or wine in the house, or my brain goes into treat mode. Let's party. But I'm totally happy doing calories in, calories out, and eating on the low carb side. And true restrictions make me hyperfixate on what I can't have, and then the urge to binge kicks in. I'm more of a moderator. I found that every other diet I've tried when I completely abstain from eating things, I always cave and then beat myself up for it and quit. I just started Seco for the first time. It's tedious logging everything, but I found I have better self-control. I'm a little over 2 weeks in, and I've lost 8.4 pounds. I know that it's mostly water weight right now. It's been easier to say no to the junky food, because I know that if I do want something sweet, I can just try and fit it into my calories for the day, and if I go over a little, it's still okay. I'm already starting to feel better and more energized, and to me, seeing and feeling results like this make it so much easier. Mostly an abstainer. I can moderate some things like healthy crackers, but not others like chips or baguette. This works pretty well since I just don't buy them, but will have it when out, but just like one portion, a muffin, a fresh bagel, etc. Or if I buy it, it's part of a cheat or treat meal and I try to involve someone else, or only buying/making a small amount. I was an abstainer, but I couldn't sustain long term, so I've tried to force myself to become a moderator, which I'm finding to be much more satisfying. And being content with less is a game changer and increases my overall satisfaction levels. Also, I get to have more interesting tastes and food experiences more often, which is fun. I found that I can try my friend's unhealthy dish at a restaurant for a fun experience, and then satisfy my hunger with my healthier dish. I feel like I get the best of both worlds. My new buffet strategy, for example, is to fill up on vegetables and lean meats, and then permit myself to have one plate of small one-bite samples of things that I craved or wanted to try afterwards. I found that I never leave with regret that I binged or that I missed an interesting experience. And by the time I get to the sample plate, I'm usually rather full, and most of my cravings have left. I'm mostly a moderator. I'm totally fine with cutting out all junk food short term, like for a week to focus on eating more veggies or cooking at home more, or having rigid pre-made decisions about when it's okay to resort to fast food, how often cheat meals should be, etc. But I definitely have trouble cutting things out entirely for more than a week or so. I did a whole 30 days once and lost absolutely no weight because the restrictions were driving me nuts, and I would just get grumpy and binge on almond butter, whereas the day I realized that I can just get the sandwich and no fries, or just have a little piece of cake with no ice cream, was life-changing. And that brings us to the end of the video, Narwhals. If you haven't yet, please tap subscribe to join our community here on YouTube called the Narwhals. It's a great way to commit yourself to actually starting your journey, so please tap subscribe, and I will really appreciate it. And lastly, here's our featured Narwhal of the day. Lost 42.4 pounds.